Alright, boys, let's get this podcast started before I cash in your coupons for you. And welcome back to It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. Today we got a very special episode for you. It's the one and only Food Fight, aka one of the worst animated films, if not one of the worst films of all time. I'm your host, Lugia, and I don't think I'm ready for this, I'll be honest.
Hi, I'm Patrick, and I kind of had a feeling this day would come.
I'm Red. Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited.
But before we subject ourselves to this, let's talk about some things that happened this week.
News. Let's see. Cal Penn came out as gay, so congratulations to him. He's
Yeah, good for him.
engaged, 11-year relationship. So that's pretty cool. Kind of weird that no one noticed he was gay when he was dating a man for 11 years, but whatever. Anyway, that in retrospect is kind of funny because him, 2 out of the 3, major characters in Harold and Kumar are gay, and it's the characters whose entire personality was how much they love having sex with women. I bet those movies are going to be really weird on rewatch, but yeah, whatever. Let's see. Chris Pratt will be playing Garfield in the upcoming Garfield animated movie.
And apparently the internet kind of went crazy.
There's something funny about that. So you know how we're getting a new Devil May Cry anime?
Yeah.
Someone, I forget who, one of the writers explicitly stated that Chris Pratt will not be voicing Dante.
I got nothing against Chris Pratt, but he is everywhere these days.
Yeah, anyway, my condolences to the Italian-American community. I know you've been suffering a lot these past few weeks because of... First he takes Mario, and now he's taking the lasagna-loving cat.
I mean, I don't doubt he's a talented guy, it's just...
He's talented, but he's never, he's never in his entire career done a voice that wasn't his own. And Mario and Garfield have, pretty distinct voices.
I will say the render of Garfield does look pretty good. Apparently it will be him in the animated movie, but other than that, yeah, we know nothing else other than it's the Chris Pratt show again.
Well, we have yet to hear the voice anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of celebrity voice acting, apparently a Seth Rogen Donkey Kong movie is reported to be in development.
What?
Yeah, just like a few weeks after the announcement of the Mario movie, we get, hey, there might be a Seth Rogen Donkey Kong movie happening too.
No, you're fucking
Hell
joking.
Yeah.
No, I saw a few articles talking about this. It's not official, but
Is it because the voice matches?
I don't know.
Hell yeah, we're gonna get a stoner comedy for 5-year-olds. Him and Diddy are just gonna be smoking bananas. It's gonna be like
Cranky Kong's gonna hit LSD.
Like zoinks, man! I'm blazed up. That's my Shaggy nut.
That is Shaggy. What are you doing?
What if Shaggy was Diddy Kong?
Joke
that
about
how
how Shaggy was, a pothead in the Scooby-Doo live action movie. Something like that. Yeah, kind of be like that. They make Donkey Kong a pothead. Him and Diddy instead of Shaggy and Scooby. Yeah.
Last bit of news is that we got a little bit of an update on the upcoming film adaptation of Wicked, and that is who will be playing the 2 main characters, and they will be Cynthia Erivo, I think I'm saying that right, and Ariana Grande. I'm a fan of Ariana Grande, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, to say the least. Surprised Idina Menzel isn't reprising any roles, considering she's kind of a hot ticket item now. But yeah.
Apparently this is going to be directed by John M. Chu, who did In the Heights. So I really liked In the Heights. So I have faith he can pull this off.
Yeah. Anyway, more recent news. There's apparently some tragic accident that happened at the Astroworld concert.
Oh yeah, I
last
heard about
night.
that.
Yeah.
So apparently, a bunch of people got spiked with drugs, and then some sort of stampede happened. It's a very odd case because people aren't exactly sure what's going on. Also, apparently, a bunch of the Muppets on Sesame Street got vaccinated. That's cool, I guess.
Okay, we're just.
Anyway, food fight.
That was quite a jump. It's like, oh yeah, these people were drugged and stuff. Oh yeah, also the
Let me be funny, all right?
Got a vaccine.
I'm the comic relief.
That's quite a jump.
Whatever, I'm the comic relief. I'm funny. Let me do. Anyway, food fight.
Lugia, take it away.
Yeah, a little background.
All right. So, food fight. Where the fuck do I begin? So, This was directed by Lawrence Kasanoff, who I believe prior to this also worked on the live-action Mortal Kombat films.
And
However, he
also,
didn't.
sorry,
All the other writers also wrote the Mortal Kombat films.
Can I intervene for one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently Lawrence Kasanoff, he's friends with James Cameron, and they both co-founded the what is it, Light Arrow Studios, whatever, the production company behind like all the James Cameron movies. He
So
co-founded that with James Cameron.
Lawrence Kasanoff, pioneer in 3D animation. First he brought us Avatar, then he brought us Foodfight. Big step up in quality there, you know?
No, he had nothing to do with Titanic or Avatar.
No,
but
it's a joke that he's like, technically same company, so
it's weird.
He's a little bit responsible.
That's such a strange connection. Like, one of the most acclaimed and revolutionary filmmakers of our time has a connection to the guy behind one of the worst animated films ever made. Lightstorm Entertainment, that's the name of the company.
I mean, to be fair, Kasanoff still has a career going, so it's not like Foodfight was detrimental.
I know, but that's just insane to think about. That James Cameron, that the director of, like, Titanic, is friends with the guy who directed Foodfight. That's just so funny to me.
Yeah, one day that's gonna be us, buddy. You know, Lugia, he's gonna be directing, like, I don't know, some masterpiece action movie, and I'm gonna be directing, Quackity Duck's racist adventures or something. I don't know.
Anyway, tell us more about story of Foodfight.
All right, so despite Kasanoff's resume prior, he never worked on an animated film, and it kind of shows. Initially, this was made by Threshold Entertainment. I don't know exactly what they did beforehand, but more importantly, I believe everyone knows this, but in late 2002, because this movie was initially scheduled to be released in 2003, someone stole most of the footage. We don't know who. I don't think they've ever cleared up who did, or if they even found the lost footage, but that shit's just gone now.
All right, so apparently what Threshold worked on before was they did some of the movies at theme parks, so like Star Trek 40, Bob Builder 40, Marvel Super 40, stuff like that. And apparently worked on some Lego television specials. So they did the Lego Star Wars Empire Strikes Out thing that you might have seen on Cartoon Network as a kid.
So they mainly worked with, like, smaller productions.
They mostly did Lego stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
It just seems like because they did Lego: The Adventures of Clutch Powers. Remember that movie? Bionicle: The Legend Reborn.
I have never seen any of the Bionicle movies.
I vaguely remember the Bionicles movies, but I couldn't tell you anything about them.
And apparently they contributed to the productions of some other movies like Dogma and Scary Movie. Scary Movie. All right. So my "what's up" joke would have worked, motherfucker. Okay,
that makes no sense in terms of what the audience knows.
A Scary Movie references a lot of stuff. This is a reference movie too.
Never mind. We were talking before the podcast started about something, but anyway.
So obviously, because having your footage for your multi-million-dollar movie means you have nothing to work with. So obviously, that was really fucking bad.
Yeah, they should have backed it up like they did with Toy Story 2.
But production resumed in 2004. I don't know what they did in 2003 when they had nothing. I guess they just gave up until Kasanoff said, "No, we can do this." So for the recut, I'll just call it, is they wanted to use motion capture instead of CG animation.
Yeah, that was popular at the time because of Zemeckis.
And finally, in 2011, because we didn't really know what happened with the film since then, it was auctioned for $2.5 million. I don't know to what company, but they just wanted it done. They wanted it quick and dirty. And speaking of the budget, it has about a $65 million budget, but this is also taking into account its budget beforehand, which was about $50 million.
Nothing about it's kind of funny how the last anime movie we talked about was motion capture too, and you know what? It's funny how that one came out years before this, and the quality between them is so stark.
We'll get there.
You want to know how much this made at the box office?
How much?
73,000.
Oof.
Yeah, this movie bombed.
Okay, so anyway, I did some more research on Lightstorm and Threshold. So Threshold was made in 1993 when so Kazanov was the CEO from 1990 to 1993, which means that he was directly involved in the production of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which is insane.
So yeah, Foodfight ultimately released.
Obviously, panned across the board. People said it was one of the worst animated films of all time, yada yada yada. We've seen the JonTron video, we saw Doug Walker's video. You pretty much know this movie if you've been on the internet for a week.
And a lot of what we're saying here is really nothing new, but if you just want to hear three idiots talk about Foodfight, join the bandwagon.
Yeah, if you like
About
food
7
fight
years,
slander,
about
you're in the
7
right
years,
place.
about 7 years too late to the party.
Although I will say,
Fun fact.
I am amazed that this movie has such an impressive cast list. Like, goddamn.
Oh, by the way, little meta fun fact, but every single bad movie we've talked about except Samurai Cop has a direct tie to Doug Walker. Hell yeah.
He's never done
Ka-chow.
Samurai Cop before?
He hasn't done Samurai Cop, surprisingly enough.
How does Furry Vengeance tie into Doug Walker?
Shit, right, you're right. Okay.
I got you there.
Actually, I have one more thing before we talk about the cast.
Yeah,
Have you guys
Mhm.
seen the original trailer for this movie back in 2002?
I have.
I have not.
It surprisingly looks miles better than the finished product. Characters are actually animated decently for the time.
And they actually
There's a
have
lot of facial expressions.
And
Yeah.
Chester Cheetah's there for some reason. He does
Don't know
not
what
appear
happened to him in the final
movie.
product. So,
The cast.
surprisingly, they got a number of famous actors for this movie. Charlie Sheen as the main character, Dex Dog Detective. Hilary Duff as Dex's love interest, Sunshine. Wayne Brady as his sidekick, Daredevil Dan. Was that his name?
Yeah, Daredevil Dan.
They also had a lot of talent, even like within the voice actor industry, because they got Ed Asner and James Arnold Taylor.
Yeah.
I
pretty
wonder
all-star
how they
cast.
think about this movie years after it came out.
Well, thankfully Ed Asner,
God rest his soul.
yeah, thankfully he's no longer tormented by this awful film. I don't know what James Arnold Taylor thinks. Who knows?
He's probably
I
gonna
don't know
laugh
if
like
Charlie.
Titus about it.
I don't think Charlie Sheen remembers this movie.
Oh yeah, guys. Also, Christopher Lloyd is in this movie too. We forgot to mention that.
Right.
Judge Doom himself, and also Doc from Back to the Future.
Also,
My
Eva
God.
Longoria.
My
Eva
God.
Longoria was a big actor too at one point. But don't worry, since this movie, she's gone on to much better animated projects like The Boss Baby 2. They got Hilary Duff, but they also got Haley Duff. Is that like her sister?
Maybe.
I want to say there's a
I don't-
relation there.
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
She's
I don't
the
know the
older
Duff.
sister of
I
Hilary
don't know
Duff.
the Duff family tree.
Also, one
There
thing I
was-
noticed, there was a
What?
voice actor listed for Mr. Clean in the credits.
Yes.
He never said a single line.
He had not a single line.
I don't think he even
What?
grunted. So like, I don't know.
Nothing. He didn't say. He didn't give any dialogue or
The
any
most he
noise in
did
any
was
way.
just swipe his head because he was bald and get dirty because everyone wants to make the joke. Haha, Mr. Clean got dirty.
Give us a plot synopsis so we can really get into the bones of
Well,
this thing.
thankfully there barely is a plot. Although it's really convoluted as fuck if you think about it, but we'll get there. So, in location unspecified, there is a supermarket called Marketropolis Market,
By
where
that
when the
logic,
sun
I'm
goes
going-
down, there is a live city full of different brands and icons who they call Ikes because
I'm just gonna interrupt.
lore.
Sorry, just gonna interrupt. I'm gonna interrupt for a second. By the logic of the naming of the supermarket, that means the supermarket is located in the city of Marketropolis. Marketropolis.
I wonder if that's a real
Market-
location.
I live
Why
in
would you name your city Marketropolis?
I don't know.
Unless
Why'd
it's
you-
like a big farmer's market.
I don't know. Why would you name your city Townsville?
That's a joke. That's
Exactly.
I
This
guess
was
market-
a joke too.
I guess, but it's
It was a bad joke.
it's a bad. Yes, it's not a good. Carry on. Just carry on. I'm putting way too much thought into this.
So, in the supermarket world, when the store closes, we meet our main protagonist, Dex Dog Detective, just rescuing a bunch of baby kittens. And he's also going to be marrying his love interest, Sunshine. However, she walks away suddenly for some reason. 6 months later, she never returns. Dex gets depressed, and then all of a sudden, a new woman comes to town called, was it Lady X? Fuck, I don't
Lady
remember the name
X.
now. What?
Lady
Yes,
X.
Lady X.
Okay. Then she
Rhymes with
starts taking
Lady
over the
Sect.
entire supermarket with Brand X, which is what her company represents. And yeah, that's basically our plot. There's really not much to it. We
Basically,
find out that
Dex
she's
wants.
ugly and that being ugly means you suck.
Basically, Brand X is taking over the supermarket store, and Dex wants to try to find Sunshine Goodness because there might be a connection between Brand X and. Or, really, you could figure out what happened to Sunshine pretty easily.
All right, so basically, this is the worst anime movie I've ever seen, but it's one of the best so bad it's good animated movies I've seen. So I don't know. To me, it's a classic. Like I've seen this movie more than once, and I've enjoyed myself up until the last
The last like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like it's this is definitely not a perfect movie. It's not even a perfect so bad it's good movie. There's a lot of flaws that kind of drag down the entertainment value. One, let's just get the cat out of bag. The looks of this movie, it's ugly as hell.
Especially for
Actually,
2011.
I did some research of my own, and
It's bad
apparently
for 2002, which is when it was supposed to come out.
no, guys, I did some research of my own, and apparently the animation software they were using for this movie was not meant to be compatible with motion capture. So that explains why the movements in this movie are along the lines of what I like to call broken capture.
That's the thing. Like, it's not even just the jittery movements; it's the textures, the models, the colors.
I'm just saying there is explanation for why the movements are so jank, but
There are
everything else,
some models,
there is no explanation for everything else.
not even models, just sprites that they have layered on top of the actual film, and you can tell at some points. Like when Sunshine is playing around with the watermelon, it grazes right by a kid's head. It's like, come on, guys, really?
And
Yeah.
the textures in this movie, my god, everybody looks like they're made of like plastic or like leather or it looks so off.
Dex Dog Detective went from like plastic to that weird like. You ever see like fuzz like on a couch or whatever?
Yeah,
That's
leather
kind of a
basically.
not leather, like that specific kind of fuzzy thing. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what to call it, but you know
I
what
know
I
what
mean.
you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, the looks of here, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's being this ugly looking is what makes it funny. But like after a while, it's just grating to look at. You just want to like stop staring at the screen. And then like the fetishy stuff that happens later just makes it like uncomfortable.
Actually, oh my god, that's another thing I found in my research. Apparently, the reason that these really sexual dance scenes are in the movie is because apparently the animators they got bored and decided to have fun, I guess, and like make Lady X like really seductive. And
So they're just shitposting.
Larry Kasanoff noticed this, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, let's put that in the movie." I'm not joking. That is actually what happened.
They're Kazanov.
The kids will love it.
I'm surprised Kazanov wasn't involved in the making of Terminator 3. That's a joke that like two people are gonna get. But you know what?
Yes.
I made that joke for you two people in the audience. Remember, if you got that joke, to like this video and smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, speaking of sex,
Bing that bell.
there's a lot of sexual innuendos and sexual references in this movie as well.
I'll admit this movie has a lot of details. Like the dialogue's terrible, but they put in like some small jokes in the dialogue that could probably go over some people's heads.
There's
And then
also a
once you
couple of
actually
visual
get it, you're
details
just
that we
grown.
noticed when we
Yeah,
watched this
we
together.
saw-
There was a couple posters in Dex's
Yeah.
room that are parodies
Sure.
of other movies.
Yeah. You got Frank Carrot's "It's a Wonderful Lime," 12 Hungry Men, Dial B for Burger. There's even a theater playing in the city that has Melon Rouge.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna say is
So
the people working on this movie want you to know that they are not stupid. They're like, look, we've seen good movies. We know what a good movie is. Please do not judge us for this disaster. You know
I
what?
want to say they tried, but at the same
I
time,
don't judge you. I don't think they tried. I think they got they were given like a month to work on this, and they're like, shit.
So yeah, this movie is ugly. This movie is uncomfortable. It has a mostly awful sense of humor. Some jokes are like so bad they're actually kind of funny. This movie's also offensive.
There's a
There are a
couple
lot of
racist jokes in
stereotypes.
here.
There's a lot of stereotypes. There's the Italian stereotype. There's the gay stereotype.
Out of all the movies to come out of development hell, it had to be this one and not, The Thief and the Cobbler or something like that. Oh well.
But yeah, there's also parallels to World War II.
Oh yes,
forgot to
yes.
Can we
mention
talk
that.
about that now? Because
A
fuck.
lot of
The
Nazis.
fuck?
Brand X is basically just Nazis.
Okay, before
want
they
to-
started
they want
the
to- they
actual
want to-
scene, they have a sort of dance-off with Brandex, and the motto that not the motto, the song that the icons use is literally the French national anthem.
What was that about? What
I don't
was
know,
that?
but they did make the cheese dude French, so I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with that. And then they just forgot to have any connective joke.
Though after that, once you get to the actual war portion of the act, it's just boring.
Yeah, like we the three of us watched this movie together, and at the first half of the movie, we like had a bunch of comments to make. We were making jokes, and then when the battle scene started, we were just in silence.
Yeah,
'cause
this
we
was
had,
our
like,
second
nothing
time
to
watching the
say.
movie too. This wasn't our first rodeo.
It just goes on, and there's like nothing to say about it because it's like the same shot of like people falling over and like an
It wasn't the
explosion of-
same shot, but it
It's
felt
mostly
the same.
it's like no guys, it's like the most boring match of Splatoon because it's just a bunch of flying colors and splats and people falling over. It's
Yeah,
Ugh.
and then you got the characters. So what I find interesting is even though this movie's whole selling point is a crossover, there are like no major characters that are actually from like a recognizable brand. They're basically just glorified extras.
well, to
Mr.
be
Clean
fair,
just has like 2 visual gags. Chiquita Banana has like a few lines.
well, to be fair, even in Wreck-It Ralph, all the cameos were like at the beginning. But the
Yeah.
difference is Wreck-It Ralph actually had like a strong script, and,
All
like,
right,
good
well,
characters, and
I'd say
it was
this isn't
good.
actually comparable to Wreck-It Ralph. I'd say this is more comparable to the Lego movie. The way Wreck-It Ralph kind of structured his video game world isn't particularly similar to this one. This one, I feel like it's more tantamount with what the Lego movie was trying to do with the sort of a real world element to it, you know, and also just the fact that the way the brands were, they're a lot more diverse than just video games. So I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of the world, what are the rules?
There are no rules.
It's implied that the inside transforms into a city at night, but then they're walking around during supermarket hours in the actual real world. But then they can see what's going on because like a bag of chips gets stepped on, and he's like, "Hey, bag of chips. Friend X will pay."
Yeah.
Like, at what point does their world come into play, and at what point does what? I don't even.
Who knows? One thing I found funny was how okay, so the best character, which isn't saying much, is this chocolate vampire. But what I find really funny is that one, the way they like introduce him and write him, it makes it feel like he was supposed to be a celebrity guest actor, but he's not. And they also write him that makes it seem like he's supposed to be like a well-known, recognizable brand, but he's not. He's made up. He's clearly meant to be Count Chocula, but it's not Count Chocula, so it doesn't like have the same impact.
He also has the hots for chocolate people.
Oh yeah, he's gay. He's incredibly
Yeah,
flamboyant.
he's clearly the
Yeah,
the
you
gay
know what?
stereotype.
You know what? Let's give this movie some credit. It had gay representation before Disney. Hell yeah. One of the earliest animated gay characters in a kids movie.
Who would have thought this movie would have been so progressive?
Okay, fine. We'll give Food Fight like
Wait,
one
did
measly
wait,
point.
wait, wait, wait. Did this come out before Paranorman? This
Came out
movie
the
I
came
want
out.
to say
year. This came out
Paranorman
the
was
sa-
2010.
No,
No,
they're
Paranorman
both
was
2012.
They both
All right.
same year.
Now I need to find out like the month. I'm gonna like determine who won with the gay representation.
Speaking of
I will-
characters, there's this one guy. I don't know his name, but the guy performing him tries so hard to be Tim Curry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's like General X, I think. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly.
They just made him fetish the character, and I
Okay, you
never
know
thought
what?
I'd say that in my life.
Because at one point he wets his pants and he's like, "Oh, this feels rather nice."
Oh, I so do love a good spanking.
Like,
You know,
who is the
technically this.
Who's the target audience?
Oh my God.
What?
Foodfight actually beat out Paranorman by a few months, so congratulations, Foodfight. First gay representation in an animated kids movie.
There, that's one positive.
I ask again, who is the target audience?
It's clearly
Because
meant
like
for children.
it's
This
too
movie-
inappropriate for children. It's too stupid for anyone else.
Yeah. Anyway, so this movie was released direct to video, so that's interesting, I guess. I don't know. Lionsgate was producing. Like, the hell? Why the hell did they pick this up?
Maybe they felt bad after all the footage was stolen.
Yeah, maybe like, Lawrence Kasanoff, he called his old buddies there. It's like, hey, remember me? Those Terminator movies, huh? You gotta thank me a little bit, right? They're like, yeah, okay, what do you want? Please.
Honestly,
This movie has been the bane of my existence for 10 years.
this movie is like watching an actual food fight in that it's a giant mess.
Aha,
So
but
like
tish.
so the title doesn't lie.
There's
Yeah.
also supposed to be a moral by the end.
Yeah, it's what's the moral they
The
came
se-
up with? Ugly people don't deserve human rights.
The
Hell yeah.
secret is inside.
And also ugly people deserve less. Luckily we're covered, fellas. Haha, am I right?
They only
High
bring that up
five.
one other time in the film, and it's like near the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't even get what the point of it is.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what's the whole raisin thing? Y'all remember
Sunshine
that?
Goodness. Sunshine Goodness is a mascot for raisins.
Yeah, no, it's like just weird that they pair the dog up with the raisin. Like, okay, like
Because that's his
Dex
girlfriend.
is like Dex is a cereal mascot, but like
I don't
that's
know.
never directly mentioned. It's only like on a billboard in the beginning.
It's kind of weird that he's eating like his girlfriend, but whatever. No, I'm kidding.
He's eating the products. The
Eating the
product that she
product.
sponsors.
So
eating her-
if he eats the
eating her
product, is
children.
he eating a part of her?
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. At the end, where are
What
they
are the
getting
rules?
At the end, where are they getting all the food from that they're throwing?
Can they reproduce? If they reproduce, what happens?
Oh shit, you know
Do
what
we
I
re-
just remembered?
We really need to ask questions. We
Going
don't
back
have
to the
answers
characters, Christopher Lloyd's character, just what the fuck?
Oh
will
yeah,
s-
Jesus,
con-
Christopher
con-
Lloyd's character was something else.
Considering the twist at the end, it does make sense why his movements are, even by the movie standards, jank as fuck.
It's funny, I'll give it that, but like, God.
I would argue it's not jank. It's actually his movements are probably the best registered in the movie because of how like big and slow and sweeping they are. It's just a very bad
it makes
idea.
sense why he moves that way because spoiler alert, he's a robot.
No, but I'm just saying like technically speaking, like his movements were the best animated. It's just it was a terrible like direction and idea, so it doesn't look better.
And his voice work.
Yeah, that's like the unfortunate of this movie. Like it's ugly. Like the room is ugly, but it's ugly in like a really dull and boring way. When this is just like an assault on your eyes.
Clown vomit, in other words.
Yeah, like it's a lot of like orange and brown and like dark green.
And
I
paint.
want to look away, but
It's
you
not
can't.
it's not an appealing color palette.
Yeah.
I think the character designs are fine, but like the
No, they're
rendering and
not.
like I think I can see like the like I can see like there's some effort like placed into like the designs of like Dex
No,
and,
there's
like,
not.
I don't know.
Dex is just a Great Dane in Indiana Jones suit.
I don't know. I guess on paper it looks okay, but like modeled like in 3D with like these awful textures and like dead expressions, it looks bad. Honestly, I don't even know what else to say that hasn't been
I'm
said.
still trying to think of more stuff that we noticed, but we already complained about the supermarket rules.
The ugly animation,
The fucking human models, dear God.
Yeah. The thing
and
is, a lot of this is
stereotypes and the humor and
Yeah. The thing is, though, is a lot of this is entertaining. The real dragging point is that action scene that's in like the third act, because that goes on for like 20 plus minutes, and it's just there's just nothing entertaining about it. It's just incredibly repetitive, dragged out, and boring.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
the first
first
half of
hour,
the first half has like it's fun riffing material. You can get some
yeah,
enjoyment out of it with your friends.
first
But
hour is funny, and even like the last like 10 minutes are kind of funny. But in
the
between
whole
that is just boring and ugly.
like even as a so bad it's good movie, it's okay. Like
So like
it's not even really
like this
that
is
great
this
as a so bad it's good movie.
yeah, this is like a 1 out of 10 in quality. Like entertainment value, I'd put it at like a 5 or a 6. Probably closer to a 5 entertainment value wise, but yeah, like this ain't great.
I honestly have nothing else to say that hasn't already been said.
I just give this like a 2 out of 10. There's not a whole lot to salvage from this.
Yeah. You know what? There's one thing.
You can have some fun with it, but only
Yeah.
check it out if you're curious, like extremely morbidly curious.
Yeah,
And you'll
you know
hate
what?
yourself for doing it.
You know what? At least this movie has a little bit of gay rep, and I can't believe I have to say this, but at least it didn't pretend the Holocaust never happened. Because I've seen movies that done that, and it just kind of comes off as weird. Like I know it's a kid movie, but like,
Actually, I do have one other thing to say. The soundtrack of this movie is actually not too bad.
I disagree.
Well, okay, like it's the soundtrack is obviously trying to be Shrek, but I don't know. A part of me is like, hey,
The
it's just
opening
a dumb
song sounds like it
It's
was ripped off from something else.
Yeah, it
the
sounds like it
opening
was ripped
song.
off from like one of the Shrek intros.
It sounds like I'm a believer.
But instead
The
of
opening
that,
song.
it's our world.
It's well, I don't know.
Yeah,
The soundtrack for me is kind of like a guilty pleasure. Like it's dumb, but like
yeah.
compared to everything else, it's
Instead of
at
Our
least
World,
it's
the
at least
song should have been
it's
instead of instead of Our World, the song should have been His World by Crush 40.
I don't know. Compared to everything else in the
Oh
movie, the soundtrack
yeah.
compared to everything else in the movie, the soundtrack is at least competently made.
Honestly, the Mr. Clean Ball joke kind of cracked me up. I don't know. I'll give him that. Just because it's just funny how he just teleported into the scene and then just like he just kind of
Yeah,
standing
before
there.
then he was just nowhere.
I did kind of get a chuckle out of the summer school line.
We just completely neglected to mention the incredibly racist Jewish stereotype they had. And that's the character James Arnold Taylor played.
Oh, right. The guy with the
The,
big nose.
yeah, the guy with the big nose. It sounded like Mort from Family Guy. He's like, "Oh, it's daytime." Not no, he didn't sound like that, but you know what I meant.
Sounded like a more hyper Johnny Test.
No,
Well,
what?
it is James Arnold Taylor, so
James Arnold Taylor was Johnny Test?
Yeah, he
I
was.
believe he was.
Nah, that
Yeah,
can't be.
look it up.
I thought I knew him. I know him from Obi-Wan. That's what I knew him from. Oh my God, he is, and he's Ratchet too. Damn, that's another terrible animated movie, Ratchet and Clank. Ugh.
Well, he's been
Yeah,
Ratchet since the
damn.
second game.
Yeah, but the movie still had him.
Look out for an
Anyway,
inevitable Ratchet and Clank review.
maybe not. Um, yeah, okay, that's something. But
Anything
yeah,
else to say?
can toss racist Jew boy in his catalog of roles. You guys got anything else to say?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. So if God forbid you want to see more movies like this, well, first, if you want to see more movies like this, you need some psychiatric evaluation. But if you somehow do, you'll probably like Ready Player One or Eight Crazy Nights, Space Jam 2, Wreck-It Ralph 2. I could give you like good movies that do this premise, but like you don't deserve it if you like this movie.
I just
So,
remembered something. We did
What?
not
what?
talk about Wayne Brady's character.
Oh yeah, Wayne Brady's
Oh
character.
yeah, the guy who
He's
moves
the
just for the sake
token
of
black
movement.
sidekick. He's the Chris Tucker
He
to
bleeds chocolate out of his eyes. They try to do a plot point with him where like he's framed for something with Brand X. It goes nowhere.
And he also has
yeah.
kind of an arc where he can't do a loop-de-loop in his plane, but it like doesn't mean anything.
At the end,
Yeah.
he does. It's significant.
Woo, who cares?
There. Now
I
we've
know.
covered pretty much everything we can with this fucking
I don't
movie.
know. If you want to see this movie done better, I'd say watch Sausage Party. I know you don't like it, Red, but
Yeah.
it's a lot better than this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd just recommend watch the Lego Movie or the first Wreck-It Ralph. Those are good.
We good? Are we
Yep.
done with our food fight excursion?
We can push it off
Yep.
to the side now and never think about it ever again.
So what's your
Agreed.
recommendation,
Right.
Patrick?
It's my turn again. So, as much as I would love for us to talk about more bad movies, Food Fight is one of those films where after you watch it, you just need a palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remind yourself what a good movie is. So, I'm gonna recommend something good. Get us back on track. And actually, we are going to be making a smooth transition, going from a movie that appeals to nobody, featuring Christopher Lloyd, to a movie about nobody, featuring Christopher Lloyd. We're talking about Nobody next.
I don't believe I've heard of that one before.
It came out just this year.
Oh, I've seen that
Oh.
movie. The one with Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah,
Yes, that's a good movie. I've seen it. Hell yeah. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind watching that again.
I
That
guess
one
this is
has
our
curious.
most
Christopher Lloyd,
recent
too.
movie now. Take
I've been
that, Baby
curious
Driver.
about it, and I've heard
Yeah.
good things, so I'm like, you know what? Let's jump in. So
That one has Christopher Lloyd too, so that'll be cool.
that's what I said. I said we're jumping from one Christopher Lloyd movie to another one.
I was expecting
Okay,
Back to
yeah.
the Future, but that would be too predictable.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I don't like
nah.
to be I don't like to be predictable.
Yeah, you should say Back to the Future 3, and then like we don't talk about the first two.
It's like
Have a game
Spider-Man
where
3 all over again.
yeah, have a game
I
where
am
anytime someone mentions the first Back to the Future, they get tased. All right, that's cool. That's
My favorite Kingdom Hearts character. All of them.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be everybody?
No, it's nobody.
Is nobody a character in Kingdom Hearts?
Nobody is everybody. Everybody has a nobody. Anyway, you want to close this out, Lugia?
Alright. Alright, guys. Let's snap, crackle, and pop out of here.